Well, last night on Dynamite, the post-World's End edition of Dynamite, we got the revelation as to why Adam Cole did what he did, along with Roderick Strong, Wardlow, and the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. We got an explanation. And some on social media have said it's a very justifiable explanation. Because you see, since the beginning of, AEW, MJF has always been somewhat of a prick, somewhat of a manipulator, a user of people. Basically always claiming that he's better than them and they know it, and also making them run obstacles, just to get a match with him. So everybody looked at that and did agree that it was probably a very justifiable reasoning for Adam doing what he did, even though people point out that he was taking advantage of somebody that mentally, legitimately, has had issues with befriending anyone because of who he is, what his religion is, and so on. So, when I looked at that, I said to myself, okay, I am in agreement with a lot of people here that this is the best way you're going to start off the year for Dynamite. That if this is built up correctly, the payoff in the end will be worth it. Because I will say this, and let's be honest, all right? Let's be honest. The Undisputed Kingdom, it's a good name and all that, but the truth is the Undisputed Kingdom is not going to last long. It's not. Because that, it's probably going to have some female members added to it. Two of them prominently I can think of will be Maria Bennett, Maria Kanellis, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. We know that's probably going to happen. And if it does, that could also lead to some dissension. Now, I'm not saying it will happen, but it's a possibility because of the real-life connections between Britt and Adam and Mike and Maria. I'm just putting that out there. But what's interesting, though, is what Adam Cole said towards the end of that promo. He pointed out that basically everybody's going to have a purpose in that group. Bennett and Taven are the Ring of Honor Tag Champs and potentially the future AEW Tag Champs. He pointed out that Roderick Strong is going to go after the international title, and Wardlow is going to basically build himself up the rankings to get a shot at the world title, and that when he wins it, that being Wardlow, when he wins it, that when the time is right, and Adam Cole's all healed up, Wardlow will do the right thing and forfeit the championship over to him. And Wardlow, interestingly enough, nodded, but had an expression on his face like, yeah, whatever you say, buddy. In other words, already you have AEW planting the seeds for the breakup of this group. You already see it. And let me say this. A strong, threatening faction is one that doesn't show dissension or any hints of dissension right off the bat. No. A strong faction shows unity and togetherness and the roles they play to a T, very strongly. That's what they do. One of the best examples is Evolution. And, the group that inspired Evolution, the Four Horsemen. Everybody in those iterations, no matter what iterations of the Horsemen you liked, or whether you were a fan of Evolution or not, the one thing that made those groups strong before they decided, okay, let's break them up and have everybody go their separate ways, was the fact that they did not show any hints right off the bat of the breakup happening, of the dissension happening. Not once did they show that. Because of the fact that they wanted to build up to it. And I think, honestly, that's why some people have an issue with this Undisputed Kingdom. they look at the fact that already you're planting the seeds for dissension. Like, they're already saying Wardlow is the odd man out. Because when you think about it, all four of the guys outside of Wardlow have history dating back to Ring of Honor. They do. So what better way to kind of show that, yeah, Wardlow is the odd man out than to have Adam Cole cockily, if that's a word, come out and state that when Wardlow gets his chance to become world champion and does, that when Adam Cole's healed up, Wardlow will hand the championship over to him. Now, what that does as well is it does set up a few things. It sets up that either Wardlow is going to become champion, but he'll probably lose the championship, to somebody else, either back to Samoa Joe or maybe to Adam Cole. We'll see. But it is setting up the fact that Wardlow will get a shot at becoming champion, if not will become champion. That's what they're setting up there. Secondly, it shows how desperate Adam Cole is to be champion if he's pretty much convinced that the big man is going to just hand over the world title once he wins it. No, that's not going to happen, and Adam Cole is going to be in for a wake-up call. But that subtle hint, that subtle movement, kind of facial expression, I guarantee you one thing. When MJF comes back, because obviously they're setting it up for him to come back, whether he's on a new contract or an extension of some kind, when he comes back, and he comes back as the swarmy, very egotistic MJF that he used to be, if not better, with the one-liner zingers and all that, I guarantee you MJF is going to be somebody that is going to show that footage. He's going to show Wardlow's expression towards what Adam Cole said in the first promo together. He's going to point that out, and that's going to even further the dissension in the group. Because then you'll have Adam Cole look back at him and be like, so you're seriously not going to hand me the title once I'm better? You mean I'm going to have to fight you for it? And there you go. Dissension already hinted at. And once MJF comes back, he could be the kind of guy that would do that. He would basically remind people of Wardlow's expression when Adam Cole said that. But again, like I said, this is why people, I think, really don't care for this iteration of Undisputed. Because again, it's just a play off Undisputed error in NXT. But this is why they are not a fan of it. They're not fond of it. Because already you got the dissension being hinted at. You got that dissension being hinted at. Now the question is, how long does the Undisputed Kingdom last? That's the question. How long does it last? Well, with a group like this, normally, if they want to push this group as a very threatening, menacing supergroup, well, at least to that extent, then I could see them lasting to at least All In, if not Full Gear and World's End at the latest. That's how far I think they could go with this. I think they can go with this for a whole year if they do it right. But if not, and they start realizing it's losing steam, I could see it lasting to at least, maybe at the earliest, I could see it lasting to about Double or Nothing at the earliest. I could see that. I could also see it lasting at the latest to about All In Wembley. I could see that. So the very latest I could see being, at the end of this year for the second World's End. The second to latest I could see being maybe Full Gear. The exact time and place could be All In. And the earliest, if they feel it's losing steam, will be Double or Nothing. That is when I think this group, the Undisputed Kingdom, could come to an end. Because all you're really doing in storyline is you're proving that a lot of these guys on their own can't get the job done. I mean, look at the Kingdom. They have the Ring of Honor tag titles. They had to wear masks to do that. And why? Because in story, it'll show that on their own as a team, they can't get the job done. They are a joke. They are comic relief. Roderick Strong wants to go after the international title, but it'll also show he can't get it done on his own because maybe he's not as good as he says he is. You know, Adam Cole obviously realizes, hey, I'm a big fish in a very limited pond, if you know, with very talented athletes, probably more talented than me. I can't do this. I can't win the big one. So he's relying on others. And it proves in storyline that he's scared to be on his own. Basically, that's what it really is. That's what it really boils down to. Wardlow is the only one that, as people point out, sticks out like a sore thumb because he's not afraid to be on his own. He just wants to be the world champ and be a dominant world champ. You know, just like he was when he had the TNT title the first time. He wants to be a dominant champion. So it's going to be interesting to see how they build to this obvious dissension. You know, it's going to be interesting. Because with Tony Khan, you never know what he's going to do. Things might start off hot right now, but as we've noticed in the past, with all due respect to the guy, they start cooling down. Unless he has the right people behind these segments, it's all going to depend, it's all going to hinder on how much, they can get out of this, how far they can go. Now, if they add in some members, that could help, kind of help, continue the story, can help strengthen the story. I mean, one of the things, believe it or not, that made Aces and Eights pretty good was the fact that you found ways to extend it. Like even after Bully Ray's reveal as the leader, you found ways to extend it and make it more compelling in a way by bringing in people as part of the group you wouldn't think be part of the group. Like they brought in Mr. Anderson, a.k.a. Mr. Kennedy. They brought him in, help, extend the life of the group. They introduced Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff as part of the group, and so on. So, they did what they could to continue the story, but over time it started to lose its luster. It started to lose its luster, if you know what I mean. And, the way they started to basically break it down was by taking certain members and saying, yeah, this member doesn't work anymore in this group. It doesn't. I mean, they tried extending it as far as to make even D'Lo Brown a member. So there you go. They even went as far as to make him a member. But that didn't even help. And over time, it just spiraled downwards. And they found ways to basically end it. Week by week, they would find ways to dissect it even further into just basically being Bully Ray on his own. And that was it. So in comparison, Aces and Eights, just like Evolution, believe it or not, didn't have no dissension shown into the group at all when they first began, even when Bully Ray was revealed. There was no dissension, period. No dissension, period. It was only over time that they started making things happen. And again, they found the time and the place to start dissecting, but they also found the time and the place to extend it. Like, who else could we add to make this, story last for at least a year, maybe more? That's what they looked at. That's what they were, thinking about. And that's the only way Undisputed Kingdom can last, is if they add in members, to the group, whether we like that or not. That's the only way you can make it work. But will it work? We'll have to see. We'll have to see, because again, it all depends on who Tony Khan has helping these guys make this story, make the story run on the gas, run on the pedal that's pressed down on it, and accelerating it to where it should be. It all depends on whether or not they take the foot off the gas, the foot off the acceleration, or they keep it going. It all depends. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see, what happens. Because already you have fans nowadays that are nitpicking at a lot of things, and this is one of them. This, Undisputed Kingdom is one of them. And the fact that you have everybody that likes this little faction going on for right now, for the time being, and others that don't, pointing out that, oh, by the way, did you notice Wardlow's expression when Adam Cole said what he did? Yeah, they'll point that out and say, yep, they've already... And this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. You already have fans that never were a fan of this that will point that out and say, see, they don't even have faith in it lasting long. They're already planting the seeds of dissension. First, it's going to start with Wardlow. Then it's going to go to Roderick Strong. Then it's going to go to the tag champs of Ring of Honor, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And then it's going to leave Adam Cole alone, and so on. And look, I understand what they're saying. I can understand what they're saying, and I'm sure those that like what's going on right now are trying to get behind it, hope it doesn't get screwed up. They understand where they're coming from too. So, again, we'll have to see how Tony Khan and the team he's assembled to help these guys work on this story with this group and everything, and moving them along, how far he takes it. Because, again, the earliest I see it coming to an end could be Double or Nothing. The latest, the very latest, would be the final pay-per-view of the year, which would be World's End 2024. That's the furthest I see it going, depending on how well they make this happen, how well they take care of it. But what are your guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts on this Undisputed Kingdom faction? What are your thoughts on the reasoning as to why they came together, the direction right now from the promo we heard that they want to go with each member? And what about that whole, exchange, or that whole moment where Adam Cole said, hey, when Wardlow becomes champion, which is hinting he may become champion, maybe not, we're not really sure, that he's going to do the right thing and forfeit the title to Adam Cole, and Wardlow's expression being like, yeah, all right, whatever you say. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on all of this? And who else do you think could join to help extend the group further on from a male and female perspective? Who else do you think can be added? Hold on. Sorry, I thought I heard something. But anyway, who else do you think could be added to help extend the group a little further, like male and female? Who else do you think could be added? And do you think those additions could probably lend themselves to future dissension? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. So on the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. And until then, I am out.